Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening. I'm not sure where you're watching from, but today's video is long overdue. Avri actually did her DNA test already, and I did mine even before she did hers, but we never got around to me actually talking about my results of my DNA test. So even though I know exactly where I came from, I always had questions about my own heritage, why I don't look like certain people in my family and why I might look like some other ones. And then people will come up to me and say, you look like you're from this country or that country. And then I'm be like, no, I'm from Lithuania. So basically today I'm going to be talking about my DNA results, some surprises, some not so much surprises, and how this has helped in my research in my own family's history and basically understanding Lithuanian history as it is. So a little bit of background, I am from Lithuania, in case you haven't caught that already. Lithuania is a country at the crossroads of Northern and Eastern Europe, right? So we are considered to be a part of Northern Europe, but we are also sometimes considered to be a part of Eastern or sometimes even Central Europe. So that means there's been a lot of history and a lot of wars and war generals like Napoleon and Hitler coming this way. And then Russian guys like Stalin and Lenin, coming this way. And then basically you have where a lot of different worlds meet is in Lithuania. However, Lithuania, along with the other Baltic countries of Latvia and Estonia, has been considered to be pretty stable in terms of DNA diversity. The people that have settled those countries have not really moved around too much, and not too many new people have moved into those lands. But being the history nerd that I am, I had to find out for myself, what exactly am I made up from? I know, I'm from Panevėžys in Lithuania. My mom is also from there. Her mom is from there, while my father's side is more from the central part of Lithuania. But I know DNA stretches way further back, and I know we have all kinds of different relatives, and who knows where they came from. And my parents don't look alike at all. But they're from the same country and not too far away from each other. So I was wondering if there is anything else that might be interesting, that might be, mixed into my family, or if I have some kind of interesting ancestry, or if there is just, something that I don't know. So what I did is I went and bought one of these. It's a Ancestry DNA kit. So basically, and this is not a sponsored video, this is only for fun. And their results can be interpreted in different ways, but an Ancestry DNA kit allows you to basically buy this kit. There's a little plastic tube in there. I don't have it anymore because I already sent it in. You drool in the little tube, seal it, and send it off to their lab. In the next few weeks or sometimes couple of months, you get your results. So what your results tell you, they tell you that you have some relatives that could be second, third, fourth, fifth cousin. For those of you guys who don't know, if you have maybe parents or children or grandparents or aunts or uncles or whoever may be out there, it will let you know that you have some potential family over there. You never know what kind of surprises you may find. I didn't find anything crazy surprising, but I did find out that Lithuanians did move quite a bit, because I do have family everywhere. I have family all over the US, Canada, Australia, South America, in all over Europe now. So you can just see the waves and waves and waves of immigration of Lithuanians that have moved around everywhere. But without any further ado, I'm going to share my ethnicity estimate with you guys right here. So according to Ancestry DNA, and this changes once in a while, so it's not that your DNA changes, it's that their interpretation of your DNA changes. So the more people from your part of the world or your DNA setup that get tested, the more accurate your results become. So at one point I was actually 100% Baltic, which Baltic includes, like I said, Lithuanian, Latvian, and Estonian. I am no longer that. I am actually 90% Baltic. And if you click on that, it basically tells you that it's primarily located in Latvia and Lithuania, which makes sense because Panevėžys is literally halfway from Vilnius in the south and Riga in the north, which are the two Baltic capitals. So my ethnicity range is from 86 to 100%. So somewhere in between. Ancestry DNA decided that I'm 90% Baltic. But there's another 10% that's unaccounted for. So it's an interesting interpretation here, because it says 9% Eastern Europe and Russia. Then it further breaks it down to Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, and Lithuania. And then it further breaks it down back to Lithuania again. So I'm not sure why Baltic and that Lithuanian is split differently. Maybe there's different types of Lithuanians, or different parts of Lithuania have different ancestry. I don't know. But that makes me 90% Baltic and 9% Lithuanian, basically, which is Baltic and Lithuanian, which is Lithuanian. The last 1%, that was, I guess, the so-called shocker of this DNA test. I am officially 1% Swedish, which is funny because I actually have half of my family, my father's entire side of the family is living in Sweden, but they are immigrants there. They're not actually from Sweden, born and raised, from some long lost connection that we have there. But it's funny because there must be some kind of connection that actually brought a lot of my family back over there. My parents also got their DNA tested. So because I was curious to see, when I do get matched up with relatives, I know that I'm wondering which side of the family they're from, because there's names that overlap on both sides of the family. There's actually some locations that also overlap on both sides of the family if you dig deeper. But I don't think my parents are related, but I haven't gotten there yet. But if they are, it would be a very, very distant connection. But yeah, so my mom's ethnicity is actually almost identical to mine. She's slightly less Baltic by 2% and more Eastern European, Russian, but still Lithuanian, I don't know, by 2 more percent. So we're pretty much the same, and apparently my Swedish connection came from my mom's side because she has that 1%. My father is more Baltic than I am, which is a 92%, and then the same weird 7% of other Lithuanian. And my father actually has 1% from England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe. It's funny also because I know that there were a lot of Scottish immigrants that came to my dad's part of Lithuania, which is in Kėdainiai, and I can't think of any other way where that connection may be. It must be coming from that part of the world, because his ancestry, generation after generation after generation, is actually over there. So there you have it. Basically, my DNA is a makeup of the entire Baltic region, which is interesting because I'm not too close. Well, my family that I know of didn't live too close to the coast of the Baltic Sea, but it seems that somehow we still have a connection that goes a little bit further out. In Lithuania, we've had actually quite a diverse makeup of the country for a long time, until the wars kind of destroyed it. We had an extensive Jewish population all over the country. There's been people that came from far places out in Turkey and Ukraine and Moldova and Poland and everything. They lived all over the place, but it doesn't seem that I have any makeup of any real minorities or anything like that got mixed into my makeup, unless it's just not accounted for. This is kind of for fun and for your own research purposes only. But it's, like I said, it's nothing too surprising, but it's still kind of, I guess, cool to know that there were some paths crossed at some point in history where we did have some Swedes and some Brits that came over to Lithuania somehow. Or maybe we went over there and came back. I don't know. But I have been doing a lot of history research and digging into my family, and I've been able to trace my dad's side of the family from his mother's side, who has come from some sort of partially noble family. I'm not sure, I'm still doing research on that, but I traced that back maybe 15-ish generations or so. It goes like back to when the records were kept in Latin, which is like 1700s, right? So it's really, really cool to see that these people really did make who I am today, right? If any of these ancestors were not a part of my life, even though I've never met them, I would not be here today, or I wouldn't look the way I do today. So every single person that has contributed to my family tree is the reason I'm here, and is the reason my parents are here, and is the reason their parents were here, and so on. So I just wanted to kind of show some appreciation to my family and my culture and my history, to say, hey, here I am here today. I'm very far from my homeland. I live in New York. And I actually did uncover one more family story, which is my grandma's family. My grandma's grandfather, so my great-great-grandfather, actually did migrate to the US. And it was always a family story of my grandma saying, oh, my granddad was American, blah, 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 but he came back to Lithuania when Lithuania became independent after World War I. So it was always like a family tale, but we never were able to prove anything. However, nothing to do with DNA, but through pure research, I was able to find him and find that him and his brothers, I think 3 or 4 of them, did move to Chicago in the late 1800s. So if you've ever read a book by Upton Sinclair, I think it's called The Jungle, maybe? I don't know, I'm gonna put the title right here. So that is a story about how Lithuanian workers worked in factories back in the day under horrible conditions. And there was, rats and all kinds of diseases and whatnot, but they made it through. And so not only did my great-grandfather make it through, he found a wife and he came back to Lithuania to think that he was going to live a better life, but wasn't the case. And then the family was split again because his brothers remained back in the US and he stayed in Lithuania. And at the end of the day, I'm still here because of that. So, if you take this test and if you do a little bit of research, there is some potential that you'll find some crazy story like that. Every family has something. Every family has some secrets or something that they're not talking about. You never know what you're gonna find. So if you're not scared and if you want to dig and see, your true makeup and who you truly are, I would encourage you to go ahead and take the test. I'll leave the link in the description where you can buy the test at a little discount. If you want to, it's a cool gift. Also that a lot of people give to their family members or friends or whoever. So that's going to be it for today's video. We'll absolutely be back with more videos soon. We'll be doing a lot more videos now that our school semesters are pretty much done. If you guys want more videos about history or fun facts about Lithuania, I am your man. I know a lot about my country. And for Lithuanians that may be watching, the reason I'm not doing it in Lithuanian, even though I speak it, is because I want to appeal to a broader audience that may not know much about Lithuania like you do. So, if you have not done so already, please leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.